Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the City Council meeting of April 6, 2015. If you'd stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm going to call upon the roll to be read.
Councilmember Altough.
Here.
Councilmember Ellison. Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Councilmember Mayer.
Here.
And Mayor Hodges.
Here. And a motion to accept the absence.
Make a motion to accept the absence of Sharon.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded to excuse the absence of Mayor Pro Tem Sharon Ellison. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Excellent. And second item is the agenda is there before us. I'm not sure, I don't think we need a closed session. So am I aware of anything we need to?
I thought we were going to take that off.
Yeah. So, well, we'll take it off right now.
Let's take it. We don't want to see it anymore unless there is one.
Okay, so that being struck, any other additions or corrections?
I'll move for adoption of the agenda as modified.
Now second.
Okay, moved and seconded to the modified agenda. All those in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Thank you. Approval of the minutes. We've got a couple of meetings here. The regular meeting of March 16th. Those are in the packet. Any additions or corrections to the regular meeting of March 16th?
I'll move for approval of the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, been moved and seconded for the approving the minutes of March 16. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? And then the closed session meeting minutes, those are usually circulated. Have I seen them? I don't think.
No.
Work session. There you go.
Just while we look those over. Okay, the minutes of the closed session of March 16.
I will move for approval as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the closed session of March 16, 2015. All those in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? And then the work session that we had on March 23rd. Those are in the packet for our review.
Anybody else want that one?
It doesn't say anything about the group that come in and made the proposal to us.
Citizen comments out of the agenda, Mickey McPherson. Rick
Well, it
Sees.
does? Okay, I was reading the one online.
Okay.
All right. So, all right.
Make that motion?
I'll second. Well, I'll make the motion.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All right. Well, anyway, we have a motion and a second for the work session of March 23rd, 2015. And all those in favor of those?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, any opposed? Moving on to accounts payable, item number 4, the bills, the packet. Any additions, corrections, questions?
And I'll move for approval as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, approval of the accounts payable. For this, we need a roll call.
Councilmember Altough.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellison is absent. Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Councilmember Mayer.
Yes.
And Mayor Hodges.
Yes. Item 5 is citizen comments for any items that do not appear on the agenda. So if any citizen would like to address the city council, this would be the time to do that. And seeing none, we'll close that and move on to old business. Item 6, strategic goals report, as well as the pending council projects report. And as I look those over, I don't see that there are anything new at this point. this information for us of ongoing works. Any concerns that we should pass on to Mr. Howe? Seeing none, then we'll move on to item 7, new business. We have before us a public hearing before the Zoning Board of Appeals for 1580 Carolyn Drive. And as a Zoning Board of Appeals item, well, Betty, you want to read this, or should I? I can go ahead and do that, the introduction to this. I can do that. All right. The notes that we have here say that we will need to open a meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals and then close the meeting when the item has been completed. Brian Darling has submitted a request for a front yard setback variance in connection with a proposed attached garage addition onto his existing residence at 1580 Carolyn Drive. Andy Moore from Williams & Works provided a memo outlining his thoughts on the standards that must be met from section 21.04B of the zoning ordinance. The Zoning Board of Appeals should contemplate the circumstances behind the application and determine whether the request meets each of the standards in section 21.04B. If it determines that the conditions are met, the board may approve the variance with or without conditions. The memo provided may be cited as a basis for the decision. And with that, I would turn the meeting over to our Zoning Board of Appeals chairperson, Jim Hall. So, Mr.
Thank
Hall,
you.
take it away.
We'll convene this as a meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and our issue is 1580 Carolyn Drive. I think all the pertinent information has been presented to the council. I'm hoping that you've reviewed it. So we'll start right off with saying, does the board have any questions in regards to this proposal? Not hearing anything, we'll move on. And I'll just state for you that the professional planner from Williams & Works has provided us for a summary review of the proposal. And maybe we should open this up to the petitioner if you have anything to say, Ryan?
I don't think so.
If you would come
Oh,
up.
okay. No, I think I'm good. I think everything's in the packet, and
Okay.
I don't need to add anything else.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any questions from anyone here?
It looks good, having looked it over myself. The reason for the variance is because it does kind of encroach upon the setback requirements. However, it makes sense in my eyes, and it will enhance the property. It would help the homeowner. It makes sense. It's just a single garage. It's not a double wide. I don't think because it's just wouldn't fit. So anyway, it all makes sense to me.
Okay. We can go through the standards, or if you,
I think we should,
okay,
just for the general public, so then, we don't do these very often, and they like
tell
to,
me about it. It's been like 2 years.
they like to hear what's going on. So.
Okay. And the first exception is that there are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property in question that do not apply generally to other properties in the same zoning district. Exceptional or extraordinary circumstances include exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of the specific property on the effective date of this chapter, or by reason of exceptional topographic conditions or other extraordinary situations on the land, building, structure, or by reason of the use or development of the property immediately adjoining the properties in question. The literal enforcement of the requirements of this ordinance would involve practical difficulties. And that is answered by the planner. Because of the west property line is longer, it is considered the front yard. with the curve in the road, one could only build a single stall garage. By many others in the neighborhood to have 2 stall garages. Does everybody find that that exception has been satisfied?
Yeah, Mike, I got a question.
Yes.
Why, because his side yard is longer, why is that considered his front yard when his next door neighbor's lot is longer and the narrow part is on the street and they call that the front yard? I just,
I think that's the way the ordinance is written. And I really,
because if we, this is just a question, not to be against this, but if the front yard was on the other street, would he even have to come in for a variance?
that I can't answer.
No, so, I think this is something that, because you're now making him pay for a variance when I can see right by looking at this, the next door neighbor's property is basically the same thing. So I think this is something that we need to review and change because I don't know how many more there is of this, but I can see right off the bat that in my eyes, we shouldn't even be doing this. If the wording in the ordinance needs to be changed, I think as much as you guys have been reviewing them, I think it should be changed. You understand what I'm trying to say here?
Well, I'm trying to understand. I think I understand, but
Because
I don't have answers for you, Jeff, so you can address this all you want to.
I want to discuss it.
Okay.
Just for a minute, because I have the right to.
Nobody's denying your
Yeah,
rights.
yeah, so we just basically made him pay for a variance when I think that this is something that needs to be, I'd like it to be reviewed by the planning commission because it's really not, if you look at the picture, pretty obvious. The neighbor's garage is going to be closer to the property line than his is, So, all right, we can go on. I just wanted to bring that up. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Dick? Because Dick wants to say something.
Yes.
I might be able to at least help you answer the question. Where that applies is only a corner lot. And so whenever there's a corner lot, there's always this question as to what's the front yard and what's the side yard. And the ordinance is adopted in such a way that it says the front yard shall be the longest of the two. And if you look at the drawing here, the longest of the two is really the side yard, but for purposes of applying it in the zoning ordinance, they call that the front yard. And it makes all the sense in the world, to recognize what you have here, and that's, I think, your finding in the first finding here is that even though it's treated as a front yard because it's a corner lot yard, it makes sense to still allow the garage to be located where he would like, the applicant would like to have it located. And actually, by the way, if in fact the front yard was Carol Lynn Drive, based on this drawing, the setback would only be, if I'm reading this correctly, 28 feet. 28 feet, and the setback in the code is 30 feet, so we would have need to have a little variance there also.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, a corner lot really does have 2 front yards.
Correct. And for purposes of applying the front yard setback, we always go with the longer of the two. Right?
Well, now see everyone that's going to watch this is going to know what we're talking about. Okay, thank you.
So I think we need to vote on each individual item as is, so,
You can
we'll go for it.
You could take them all together at one, you can go through them and then
Oh, okay.
vote to approve or not all together.
Okay. Then item B, are there any questions on it, or further questions on it? On criteria B, that the condition or situation of the specific piece of property for which the variance is sought is not so general or reoccurrent a nature has to make a reasonable, practical formulation of the general regulation for such conditions or situations. If allowed, the garage will not infringe on any neighbors' setbacks, just in the city right away. It will be 12 foot from the sidewalk. If placed anywhere else on the property, it would infringe on other setbacks or utilities. Are there any questions in regards to B? Item C, that such variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right similar to that possessed by other properties in the same zoning district and the vicinity. The possibility of increased financial return shall not of itself be deemed sufficient to warrant a variance. The planner's response to that is most homes in the city are allowed to have garages. Due to the curve in Elizabeth Dean, the size of the lot, and because of the side yard is considered the front yard, the longer property line is, and the recipient is unable to build a garage as planned. Are there any further questions or questions in regard to item C? Criteria D, the variance will not be significantly detrimental to adjacent property and the surrounding neighborhood. And I'm sorry, I've been reading this as the planner. The owner has made these comments. And you may compare them with what the planner has noted. This variance would not affect anyone's property other than the setback of the city right away. Are there any further questions in regards to D? Criteria E, the variance will not impair the intent and the purpose of this ordinance. The respondent's comment is it will not. Believe that it is just his side yard that is considered the front yard due to its length. The true front yard of this is on Carolyn and will have more than adequate distance for zoning rules. Are there any further questions in regards to E? And the last criteria, that the immediate practical difficulty caused by the need of this variance was not created by the action of the applicant. It was not. It was just that they would like to have a garage like many others do. If the garage is placed anywhere else on the property, it will infringe on the neighborhood lines or utilities that have been relocated. Are there any further questions on F? Now I'll call for a vote, and everybody that would agree to the request for the variance, please signify by saying yes. Yes.
Yes.
That in effect will conclude our meeting then, I believe. Oh, you need a motion.
Motion we adopt that. Close the meeting, this Board of Zoning Appeals.
Well, the recommended motion would be to approve the variance for the application at 1580 Carolyn Drive.
Yes.
And is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the variance application for 1580 Carolyn Drive. All those in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. You're ready to go.
Thank you, sir.
I'll turn the meeting back over to the City Council and the Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. There is no further new business, so we'll move on to council comments. Item 8, Mr. Mayor.
For the Fire Authority, we'll be meeting next Monday at 3:30. I was mistaken last meeting when I said they didn't meet. They did meet, I just didn't get the email. I didn't check my email, I should say. So they did meet.
haven't had any more meetings, but I did get an email saying that we might not be able to do Donner Drive because of funding. But did I also hear that it said I could ask Dan questions. MDOT's not gonna do M21 this year?
Yes, that's what the understanding is, that just scheduled for 2016.
Okay, so I would, in my council comments, I would like the council to maybe think about this, that if the state isn't going to do M21 this year, maybe we should change our focus a little bit and hold off on doing around City Hall, take the extra money and put it in Donna Street and any other street, and then just keep the DDA money until, until next year. Because I really do think that the people on Donna Street should get their street. And we have the extra $100,000 if we don't, so we could put that together, and maybe we could do a little bit more in that area, because West Street and the little side street that comes out to Donna, them are all pretty bad, and maybe all that money together, we could do that little section, and it would be all done. So, and then it's May or April, and I guess we're gonna have some sidewalks inspected this spring, and we held off on doing any of the sidewalks on Main Street because MDOT was gonna come in, but there's some really bad sidewalks on Main Street that are gonna have to be addressed because they're probably not gonna come in, so they're gonna have to address at least the bad ones. So, and I'm enjoying a nice weather, and that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hall.
Planning Commission, we approved a small grocery store in Delhi that wants to locate at the corner of North Center and Main. So that's one thing that was discussed. Also, the parking lot for the 200 block of South Main Street was discussed. And just a note that there will be no meeting in April of the Planning Commission. The other thing is that I was at the Lowell Expo in regards to the Lowell Area Recreational Authority. I manned a booth for a while, so got to see a lot of people that I wouldn't think that would be interested in trails, and there's a lot more people than I thought. So anyway, it was a good experience. I would like to put in a plug for Prop 1 that will be coming up for a vote in May. I know a lot of people have said that they're against it for one reason or another, but if the thing should be defeated, I can't imagine the legislature is going to be able to turn around quickly and respond to another vote. So I think it'll be another 2 or 3 years if we get to have any monies put into the state highways. One thing that it should be noted is by the third year, the city would be receiving somewhere in the neighborhood of $170,000 projected. And that sure would go a long way into helping our city streets. I would urge you to vote yes, not to hold a grudge against Lansing politicians, but to do the right things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Lowell Power will meet next week, as will the Chamber Board of Directors. Luck Memorial Fund will meet later in the month of April. And again, I would echo that Expo was fantastic. Lots of people, lots of activity, lots of conversation about all the great things that happen in our community. And congratulations to Liz Baker and the Chamber of Commerce for doing that event every year and promoting our community to ourselves as well as to many other folks. And that's all I have under comments tonight. Moving on then to the manager's report, item number 9, the various comments that Mark has for us are listed there. And I think we can take that all in, and he'll be with us in 2 weeks at the April 20th meeting. And we have,
Just a comment on item number 2 that he has in there, that he talks about the 2 street projects that we're having. There's Donna Street and Neighbor Street. I just got a call late today on our engineer that Donna Street went out for bid today, and they are due next Wednesday, April 16th. So we're moving forward on doing Donna Street.
okay. Good to know that. All right, thank you. Anything else? Again, Mark's just a phone call away, so if any council members need to communicate with him, please do so. Item number 10 is appointments, and we still have a vacancy for the alternative position on the Board of Review, as well as Construction Board of Appeals, and I guess there's some urgency at getting that filled. So if you would like to consider yourself for the Construction Board of Appeals, that would be a wonderful thing, or I'll be making some phone calls. So with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will move that we adjourn at whatever that is,
Oh,
7:27.
And I'll second.
and it's been seconded. All those in favor of adjourning? Yes. Thank you. We are adjourned.